We are voices of the divine. Hearts awake and we don't deny. Truth is calling deep inside. No more fear, no more divide. We've seen the shadows, felt the pain. Yeah. But we're not here to live in chains. The fire's rising in our soul. There's a higher purpose taking hold. Divine GPMS, feel the call. We rise together and standing tall. This is more than just a name. We are here to spark the flame. Add your energy, take your stand. Then healing flows through every hand. This is how the shift is done. We all unite and rise as one. Oh, yeah. No more shouting at the pain. We're the ones who bring the change. Yeah. We're not just seeing what is wrong. Yeah. We're creating something strong. From the ashes, from the dust. Ooh, we're creating something built on trust. Every soul that signs their name adds their light into the flame.
It's time for the whole world to unite and stand against the tyranny which is happening worldwide. And let it be known, the Divine GPMS is for everyone. Every nation, every race, every religion, every gender, and every soul.
No matter your past or your path, you are welcome here. We stand for peace, unity, equality, freedom, and love. This is where every voice matters, because every consent carries energy. So if you feel the call, trust it.
Divine GPMS, feel the call. We rise together and standing tall.
Oh, yeah. This is more than just a name.
We are here to spark the flame.
Add your energy, take your stand. Then the healing flows through every hand. This is how the shift is done. Now ascension has begun. Oh, yes, it has.
Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide. As outlined on the consenting website of Divine-gpms.world, it is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings to everyone. We are on July 12th, 2026 on Divine-gpms.org meeting. with Rick George. He's the founder, high priest of Melchizedek order. I believe it is the planet of Sun, Rick, probably. What planet it is, from where are coming the Melchizedek order? What it is the planet?
Oh, you mean where I'm at here?
Yeah, so
You mean where I'm at? Yeah, yeah.
no,
I'm
so
up in the higher self. You could look at it like that.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And
As
also,
well as Sister Agnes and Sister Emily, I believe. Yeah.
yeah,
We're all up overseeing what's going on, and you're down in the precious garden.
yes, so Emily, she's a guardian of GPMS, probably in the last 7 years, I think, but in your heart, you are for all the time. She's living in the United States, and also Agnes, she's living in Germany. My name is Beatrice Mitrașcu. I am living in Canada, but I'm born in Romania, and I was coming on this space, Canada, United States, in 22. So long time ago. Then my son is born here. Then Canada, it is on my heart. So I see that three of us are with the head on the sky. I am with the head on the sky too, but I wish to remain here on the planet. And because probably the rapture might happen any time. The three ones, guardians and also rejoice, are aligned with the rapture event, I believe, to go in another planet and remain there for a couple of minutes. That here in our time it is about years. So, Rick, what are the news about the ascension, and from where we go?
Did you ask me something, Sister Beatrice? Because my internet connection here was broken and I didn't hear all that
Yeah,
you said.
so I'm asking about the ascension. What are the news for the ascension at the mid-term of July 2026, where we are now at this time?
Well, where we are at now, let's say, once again, there's a deep compression, and that is because one of the reasons is that the people again need to make choices. So worldwide, they're being forced into it in different ways, floods, wars, inflation, and what have you, and also censoring with let's say some of the digital ID programs and also it goes further than this. Just this week, for example, in the UK, what the UK is attempting to do with YouTube is to prioritize their news media and their TV stations. And what they are saying, it's labeled a green paper. And what it's saying to the YouTubers, let's say the alternative media and many that are out there sharing the truth about corruption and all of these other insidious things worldwide, what they are saying is that they'll go to the bottom of the list, more or less, and that on YouTube and other social platforms, even like Facebook and what have you, that what will be prioritized is what the government wants to put out there. And it's interesting, one piece in this green paper, what it's actually saying, it's actually asking YouTube to comply with it, to put their things at the top. But then it also says, more or less, it's threatening that if they don't, then legislation will be passed to force them to do it. So, so this is it's very good. It's awakening more people. Ones are awakened to different levels. However, again, they need to be awakened to the level to know that they need to make the choices. And it's not even just all the ones that are divine that are here to stand together to make that choice. It's all of the human souls that are on earth. So with this ascension, when you look at these wars, censorship, and the ID, digital ID, but also the control of individual bank accounts and the control of the internet that everyone's digital bank account resides on. The control of the internet is in the hands of these governments and ones that we call darkness. And this is how they are able to censor individuals and even censor outside information coming into a country because they actually control the servers, if you will, on the internet. And so what is occurring is that with the, let's say, the 2030 agenda by the darkness is to rein in closer a control on humanity, and also what they've been attempting to do as part of their plan is martial law and military control where you have nothing. And in the deep extents of the darkness's plan, and also you can look at the American patriots that is supporting the Trump administration, that is to support a military agenda. And this is where the psychological warfare, if you will, becomes very intense because you have digital warriors that are also out there pushing into the public's face, what Trump is doing is good, for example. But I mean, basically, everyone can see by killing women and children in a war, innocent children in a war, that this is not acceptable. It's not moral. It's psychotic, and it goes much deeper. So when you add what's going on in Iran and also Palestine, where most of the civilians that were killed there were women and children, innocent women and children. But in any wars, what you're seeing is it's very few military personnel that is getting killed, and it is many civilians. But it gets even more alarming when you see that the majority are actually women and children. So it doesn't take one to need to know so much to see how this is morally wrong. And with the ascension as well as what you're seeing is reality is shifting. And I love to use the US again as an example of how the sovereignty, not only in the US, is spreading, but worldwide. But part of this is you see ones that are renouncing their citizenship in their current nation. So the renunciation applications in the US is backlogged and many more. And what these people are doing as they awaken, they realize they do not want to be called an American because worldwide it is shown what is occurring. These bully tactics and no respect for human dignity, funding wars, if you will, that is actually killing innocent women and children. Again, ones don't even need to be educated. They just know in their heart that these things are wrong. So when you get back to America, but not only America, the UK and other, let's say, corrupt countries worldwide, there is a flare up of sovereignty. But also, what comes with this is a renunciation of their current citizenship. So, and we'll use the US as an example. So, there is a process with this. But what gets interesting, and I'm still doing a little bit more work on it, is that for a U.S. citizen, the U.S. administration is the one that decides if you're allowed to renounce your citizenship and go to another nation or not. But this is typical worldwide. I'll jump to Austria, the same thing. One of the things what they provisioned in their law is that you need another citizenship of another nation so that they can let you go to another nation. But then again, the approval depends upon them. So this is in complete defiance of sovereignty, and it is also in defiance of the actual human rights of self-determination and of course the human dignity with it. So what we're doing is making the transitioning easier, that GPMS is a universal nation. This is different than the US nation or any other nation worldwide. The universal nation is all inclusive worldwide. And having said this, one can transition their citizenship out of any country and into a lawful universal citizenship. So this transitioning is a framework is already created, and it's also provisioning the exodus of state citizenship worldwide into the universal citizenship and of course of GPMS. So once again, I need to state this, and this is not to brag. I am what you can call an expert in law and many things worldwide, law and finance. And this is part of my divine training to be able to do this divine plan, what we're doing worldwide. So when I speak of things, these are facts. These are not things off the top of my head. They are not illusion. These things are well founded when I speak about them. So I wish to just add that in there. So what I am doing here is building at showing with this worldwide ascension that even though in this great time of destitute and let's say depression, humanity is moving forward. There are things that are moving, even though you might not see them much, because the mass media, again, which is controlled by the governments, closes it down. They don't want it to be known. And one of the beautiful things during Austria with our all-inclusive incontestable evidence that's showing the Austrian government and its judicial system at being unlawful. One of the things we encountered there, because we were giving all of this lawful information, not only to law firms, mainstream media, politicians, and all levels of government in Austria, we were also giving it worldwide. But one of the feedbacks that we got secondhand was one was giving this information directly to one that worked in the media in Austria. And that one's reply was that the government is controlling what we're allowed to put out. So we can't do this. So, but we don't need evidence. I mean, it's clear to see worldwide. So not only that, one more thing is the world is in current depopulation mode, the first time since the year 1350 to 1353 with the Black Plague. Now, remind you, back then there were fewer people. So today, where there's more people and it's still in depopulation mode, it actually shows that many more are dying than compared to that time. So this is a very serious thing. So not only, let's say, from adverse medical procedures, but also from war and natural disasters combined. And I need to say this because these things then also provision what was written in many prophecies, including the Bible. So once you begin to put all of these dots together, then you arrive at a place of knowing what is going on. That yes, let's say a lot of the prophecy is correct, that the new age is coming, and that you're seeing this provisioning. But the new age is the ascension overall. Just one quick thing with rapture right at this time. My current update is Father says, no, not at this time, not a rapture. So we're still here on the ground, taking things forward, and truthfully, to save as many souls in their humanoid bodies as possible. This is a physical battle, is what you're seeing now. So it has come out of the spiritual and actually being um, not fought by the light, but fought by the darkness in the physical. So then, once they do this in the physical, we are divinely allowed to have even more divine intervention. And mostly the way that we intervene is empower the individuals, give the knowledge and the wisdom, and also the information of what is actually occurring worldwide. So knowledge is power. So by informing even further the public of their choices and the reasons that they need to make these choices, then we transition humanity into a civilized race and world that leaves the evil behind. So I'll stop there. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for this news about the rapture, because you are aware that I oppose to that. Yeah, you are aware.
Yeah, sister, and I wish to make this clear. That is in the last few days that Father said no pending rapture right at this time. But what I need to say, the divine plan can change in a moment's notice. So it rarely does it, but it can. We were told a possible rapture back in May and June, and that's what divinely I was told, and not only I, others, to put out to the public. Now, that has been, for whatever reasons, divinely rescinded by Father, and my instructions now is to say there is, at least at this time, no pending rapture, that it's the accelerated ascension mode again.
Yeah, so thank you so much. I was very, very stressed about this rapture. I was stressed to the point that I said I should develop also in parallel with GPMS other project. Probably something may work that humanity can be saved. I was also to a county this week, and my experience there, what it is county. County, it is government institution that they are in charge with administration of the land, buildings permit, land permits, this kind of stuff. And I give them the letter of GPMS, and they asked me what it is that they had no idea, because this was coming from the freedom movement. They have no idea what to do with this kind of letter. But anyway, the receptionist received there. I asked after that on my second plan, in order to have some land for the homeless, to be able to start a project. And I asked free land. And one said free land does not exist. I should go towards the government of Alberta, or the provincial or the federal, because there it's public land. And the second county, when I told them we do not ask nothing more than basically the police or the military do not come over the people to be a sort of writing something saying that that land it is for the homeless, nothing else. We do not ask development there. So basically we will come with a route or something, not the one of the main one, but one. And there we are able to, because we have a lot of law that does not allow the old buildings to be put in place like more than sometimes 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. And I said, okay, the cheapest ones right now are probably on 40, 50 years. And everything that we need land and do not care about permit construction. This is for the homeless. So basically just for them to be let there to live. Because for sure we know what to do. The wheel from water from the ground, the best, not the water from the government. We know what to do there. And she understood. So basically the human side of the people, they understand that it's extremely easy. It is does not require a lot of funding or does not require funding at all. Just to have a portion of the land that basically to be sure in writing, to be sure that the police is not coming after these people to remove them from there. And this is, they said that this is on the hand of the Alberta and Canada Federal. Then I will send there. Sending me there will give me nothing because this is passing through the politics. So in this situation for the Canada, I also let an announcement here. For Canada, everything that I can see at this time, because the government has a restriction on construction, on the way to have the construction and restriction on the land, to be contacted, and also by the tribes, because right now in Canada, we know that the land, it is for all the people. We know that the native Indians, they know that. But at this time, probably we need to play the wheel card also in order to say, okay, government, you gave to the native Indians the land. Right now, thank you so much. Maybe we can shake the hand with the native Indians in Canada for a portion of the land just to write something like we let the homeless to live there. Nothing else. Do not live on the street, on the public street. That is named as government land. Then from there and right to free information. Not by media, because media, it is controlled directly as I'm saying. And on this right information will start to show also my song that I created with the artificial intelligence, where the land belongs to everyone, that it is basic, correct information from the universal laws. GPMS, it is included. And to start to bring all the people together. And probably in this way, when the people may see some intervention directly, that something it is done for them, probably they may come on north, because on the south there are so many problems there at this time. Probably they may go up to the north, and probably from there, with the help of native Indians, probably in Canada, we may start something and let the people the correct information about divine-gpms.world, and maybe we are able to gather. I do not know how to intervene in another way, because only door-to-door and informing the institution, it's not really working at this time. Probably this may work anytime. I will continue with informing door-to-door, but it seems that other creation, other action, probably something supplementary should be done. And I was prepared on my heart. I said, okay, I remain here with the people and I have to start other kind of project in parallel with GPMS as well. in order to bring the people towards GPMS by the end. And the problem that I can see, it is the land. If the people understand that the land is free, it is given from divinity, does not belong to the governments, then from there we start. If the people cannot see that, then they will be compliant all the time with the government, and even that few of us understand that will be stopped somewhere in the future, even to tell the truth, probably for a while, or I do not know how long time. So with this rapture event, the reason that I did not agree, it is because if the divinity, and also we know that there the divinity can create everything, but if we choose this path and let others under ID digital, it is practically to choose for few heaven and for all others to live in the actual system in the worst version. And I believe I spoke also with somebody that seems to be a sort of part of military or something else. And when I asked about the rapture event, his answer was that we are here in divine mission and we are here to complete the mission. So if some of us were able to turn on light body or not, but are so ashamed to pass through probably a portal and to go in another planet, they should remember that we are here in this divine mission. And this divine mission, it is for all of us in order to be able to pass in how much number it is possible to create heaven on earth here. This does not mean that I reject the possibility to travel to another planet, but traveling, it's like to see another planet and to meet other people from another planet. This is a beautiful project, but let it be done when we will be in heaven on earth here, or if the planet destroy itself, then remove how many are possible from here, not only those ascended, because those that they are not ascended, they can ascend in 1 minute, probably. They start to realize, and from there they move in another direction. One of my proposals in the past, and also Emily proposal in some meetings, was about information, was about advertising and information. This was never happened. I truly believe that if the light won this battle with the darkness, a little bit inside of the system, there should be a possibility, a way to start mass dissemination about GPMS. And if on my way to develop probably other project or whatever will be, I will have some funds from somewhere, I will ask permission for GPMS advertising for sure, funding. So many of us, we know that GPMS has to happen for the planet Earth. And some, they still believe that the battle can be won with this ascension here on the planet Earth at this time. So I would say thank you, God, that change minimum for at this time the way to see, to give us permission to continue the battle here on this planet. And we will see the possibilities to advance GPMS and eventually other food plans or whatever may be for humanity if possible. Yes, Rick.
Yeah, perhaps I'll come from this perspective. All right, up to this time, a rapture event has not occurred. So we look at where everyone is at now. It has gotten progressively worse over the last month, over the last months, over the last week. So how low and how compressed and depressed does it have to get before humanity chooses the common sense divine plan? We've been out here a long time giving this to humanity. And so far, we see a lot that are ignoring it. A lot have been given it. And it's common sense, it's logic, it's rationale, it's rational. So, having said this, again, you don't need to be a rocket scientist. You don't need to even believe in God to know what is right. So, with these human souls, it should not be a second thought about consenting with GPMS. So, we have showed them everything over the course of time. It's all laid out intricately on the website with the mechanics of even how it works and how it would be in the future. Yet, you do not see humanity choosing it en masse. Now, this is where we're at right now. We see few on these weekly meetings. It has actually perhaps gotten less and less, but that's for various reasons. We are in the summer, and also there are many as well that are so depressed of what is occurring in the world that they don't even want to put their phones or the social media on. So it does cut down on the participation and also the audience. Now, we have, despite all of the truth being revealed worldwide, the people are still reluctant to stand up to begin to do something about it. They remain separated. They complain about problems instead of taking 3 minutes and consenting with GPMS. Instead of giving the people the great hope about GPMS, they remained focused on energizing and amplifying the problems, which doesn't take humanity anywhere. It keeps them stagnant, but it also is a greater adverse effect at separating them as well. So, having said this, where we've given the truth worldwide, we've given the logical, rational, divine choice replacement system. Having done all of this, fewer and fewer are participating in spreading the word. Now, that's where we're at currently. What if, just what if 2 months ago there had been a rapture event that, let's say, 3 million vanished from the earth or more, with many witnesses, millions of witnesses? Then at this time, what would have occurred? Well, I will tell you what would have occurred. They would have known that GPMS is real, that God is real, and that there is a safe haven, at least. Then what you would have seen is the ascension for those that were here accelerated even more. And as I said, for those that would have been left here behind, 2 years would have probably played out for them, while those that had ascended, it would only be a minute. But then what you would have seen is so many more souls then would have come in alignment and prepared with the ascension of the planet. So you can compare two things of what would have occurred. So here we are, still here, still fighting a physical battle, which we already won spiritually. We won it because divine GPMS is being presented as the choice for the ones, so they ascend. So free will is their free choice. What do they want? So if they get left behind in a rapture event, it's because they chose it. They had the opportunity to choose the divine ascension, but they didn't take it serious. So if a rapture event would have occurred, more would have taken it serious. And we would have, even if a rapture event occurred and all of us stayed here behind, we would have been looking at mass increasing numbers here today, while our beautiful, perhaps 3 million brothers and sisters ascended, vanished, and created a rapture. Then we're able to get this planetary ascension done quicker instead of prolonging this like it is. It's getting worse. It's getting more compressed and depressed. And if this is what it takes, it's what it takes. I am an ascended master. I have already ascended. I'm not here because of Rick. I am here because of humanity and this divine operation. So, I wanted to put clarity on that for some in retrospect and contemplation. Look at how these divine um, instruments, like a rapture, how it can catapult things forward. Look at how it's beneficial. God does not harm humanity. Humanity harms itself by their choices. God is here to assist, and a rapture event would assist this planetary ascension greatly. So it depends on one's perspective. Don't create fear paradigms out of it. You need to be conscientious and you need to trust, is what I say to everyone. And you need to make the choice. Those that are watching this that haven't consented, those that are watching this that haven't mustered up enough courage to stand up and come shoulder and shoulder with our brothers and sisters, it's time to do it now. Your time is running out. Look at what's occurring in the world, where rogue governments are allowed to kill uh, tens of thousands innocent women and children and continue to do so. What is wrong with your mind? But more so, what is wrong with your heart? Don't you know it's wrong? When are you going to make the stand? And this stuff has to be stopped. And it's up to everyone to make the decision together to stop it and come together with GPMS and get it done. This is no fly by night idea or a vision from Rick. This is from God. It's the whole ingenious, brilliant new replacement system for humanity to thrive and be in their freedom and advance things forward so that we do have other first contacts and all of the great technologies. But it's humanity themselves that are destroying themselves by not making the choices to get this done. Every day, someone is losing someone here. A child they're losing, a family member, a loved one. There's perhaps not a family in all of the democratic countries worldwide that has not lost a family member for medical causes in the last 5 years or knows someone that has. The bluff is up. They know what the attempted mass genocide was about. So is it a matter of one's waking up? No, ones are already awakened to know about that. They just need to make the choices and they need to do it now while they're still able to make a choice. Because when they become imprisoned by a dark martial law, they have no chances left. Now is the time, not later.
Okay, what I may say, it is for the people that they are already on the light body, because you told us that there are a couple of million, some millions on Earth at this time, why are they do not let to experience teleportation? If you remember that I asked you when Adrian Robertin was on jail time, I wanted to experience teleportation to help a little bit and to know more information and to be able to penetrate on the situation that was created there. So why are we not let to experience this teleportation? Then the other people will see that there are people on the light body, then they will start to believe that. And we are able also in this way to move around the world and to keep meetings for GPMS and to spread the word. Then we will be believed, because this was also a question of a teenager that I met, and he was probably on his 16 or 17, I do not know exactly the age, years old. And he said, okay, start to do something and show me something different, then I will start to believe. And I said, okay, there are people on Earth that they are on light body and they can teleport. And he said, okay, so show me that. Just show me that, then I will believe. And from there I will come. It's like I'll be sure that what you are saying is true. So to make a difference from all others that are just speaking and start to allow them to see us or a part of us as people that may have some abilities, then to tell them after that that they can experience also this kind of abilities. I truly believe that a good part of the people will have a very good reaction on this way, and they may start to come forward because they will believe much more on GPMS at the time. What it is the our guardians and yourself Rick opinion on that, to be led to experience teleportation and to start to keep meetings or Dwight as light body, then start to tell to the people the truth about GPMS and light body and everything.
It needs to be understood, and I'll keep this simple. Your current energetic environment, it's actually miraculous that you're still alive in it, let alone performing great feats. And when we look at brother Jesus, he even walked on water 2,000 years ago. He created enough food out of a few loaves of bread and a couple fish to feed 5,000. Did everyone believe him then? No. So what good is this going to really do? And your energetic environment doesn't sustain this. And this is why the darkness is constantly causing war, suppression, oppression, and enslavement. Ones don't need to see things to make a choice. If you have to convince someone by doing magic, then they're already not in alignment and it becomes a waste of time. If they do not have enough trust in their heart and enough moral conscience to know what is wrong and what is right, they're unable to make a choice. So it becomes a waste of time of trying to do these things. Yes, some miracles are allowed to occur divinely, but if you have to create miracle after miracle in front of someone to persuade them to do what is right, they're already not in alignment and they already cannot make it. So it becomes a waste of time. And we're not here to persuade or convince ones. We're here to show ones that they have a choice and that they can choose a new world. We give them everything so that they have an informed, that they have information so that they can make a reasonable, rational, logical, informed, willful consent. And this is important. We're not out dragging ones by the hair of the head on the street and telling them to consent. We're giving the information because they willfully need to consent themselves. If they have not seen enough already worldwide to make a choice for the better, then they need to see more of the darkness. But it becomes a waste of time of the light trying to show them the truth. They need to learn it on their own and they need to experience it. And this is how creation is set up with one's higher choices and one's lower choices. The more lower choices they have, they keep attracting negativity. That's why, on the worldwide scale, it's getting worse and worse for those that did not choose GPMS in mass. For those that did, you're getting along. You may not have everything that you want, but importantly and divinely, you have what you need and you are supported when you keep and maintain the higher choices. So this is what's occurring. And it's with us. We're making the higher choices. We're here on a divine mission to liberate Earth, to liberate humanity out of the dark enslavement protocol of the capitalistic system and artificial laws. And yes, we're here to save humanity by giving them the instruments so they save themselves. This is like Brother Jesus. You teach fishermen how to fish, and they will feed everyone. So we're not feeding everyone, we're teaching the teachers. But what we're also seeing is that there's very few of them. And right at this time, it still appears that many of them are corrupted into complacency, either by the material world or by fears. And they are absent of compassion and true love and morality in their heart. So they're being taught that they're going to have to make a choice to have the compassion and come together as one. If not, they're annihilated. It's happening, as I said earlier in the show, with the population mode. How many has to suffer? How many has to die because ones will not make a simple choice to change this world? And this is what I said in the beginning, and I got a lot of flack from ones when I said the blood is actually on the hands of all of those that did not choose gpms.world, because this is what stops it. So when someone knows about GPMS and they don't support it, it means they're actually supporting the political system that is killing many innocent women and children. And in law, they become an accomplice to that because they're supporting that system when they're not supporting the divine system of do no harm. So in law, they become an accomplice to it and they become guilty by association. And this is how, even within the artificial laws, how they also define accomplices in murders and also ones in fraud, guilty by association. These are criminals. That's how they find criminals in their courts. So ones need to know if you're still supporting a political criminal system worldwide, that you are also an accomplice to whatever degree to that, because you are not standing in truth and integrity and saying that this is not right. And again, don't, for one to say, I'm one, I'm nobody that can do anything, that is not an excuse. There are so many worldwide now that are stepping up and mustering up the courage and the strength to speak openly. So unite with all of these brothers and sisters. You will find that you're not one. In the great numbers, you make the change to stop this. So don't use these futile excuses of you're only one. The more that steps up and stands shoulder to shoulder in unity, the quicker you get this done. Thank you.
This is Emily.
Okay. So I'm just going to share some experiences that I've had with people, with beings. I have already performed miracles. I have done things in front of people and like things that are unbelievable, unbelievable things. This one time I was with what I thought was a divine being because of the way my energy responded, and my heart chakra flew open. All of a sudden, I dematerialized. I wasn't in my human body anymore, and I was just a giant being of light. And even that was not enough for this particular person. They became aggressive, they became argumentative, they became controlling, they became all of these weird things after they just saw my ability. So even them seeing it, witnessing it, is not enough. Do you know how much energy it takes for me to dematerialize? Do you know how much concentration that takes for my higher self to actually do that and then come back into my human suit? I've literally age regressed in front of people where I went from being 45 years old to a 3-year-old girl, and the person is like, they're just shocked. They're like, who is the little girl? And I'm like, that's me. That is me. That's who I am on the inside. It's still not enough, Beatrice. It's still not enough. It's not enough. And then I cannot be, I can't sit here and feel like I'm doing something wrong because I'm right in their face, man. It's happening right in front of their face. I've already performed miracles. I've already performed healing, and they still don't believe. They're still waiting on somebody to do something. And I told an American a couple of weeks ago, because, I'm doing what I'm doing, and I happen to have this person in my space, and I shared the GPMS, and I'm like, look, I'm giving you this information. I'm not doing it for you. Because at the end of the day, at the end of all of this, humanity is not going to respect people that did it for them. They're only going to respect themselves if they do it for themselves. I certainly do not want to try to take that away from someone or take away from the experiences that they want to have. And many, many, many times that I consciously want to intervene, creators like, nope, you don't get to. They have a lot of lessons to learn. They have things that they need to experience before they get to where they need to be. I have to back off. I'm not allowed to interfere. I would love to just rush in and save people, but that is not the way it's supposed to work. If I rush in and save people, they might miss out on the very valuable lessons that they came here to learn. And it's not my place to interfere. It isn't my place. The only thing I'm supposed to do is be present and hold my light and hold my principles, hold my sovereignty, hold my vibration. I cannot, for the life of me, carry the guilt, the blame, the shame, and all of these things because people are choosing to stay trapped in that old matrix system. And I'd like to just be as clear as I can. Every day, I interact with different people that are on different levels of consciousness. And as a divine being, I do the very best I can to meet them where they are. Just meet them that's where they are. That's where they are. I've already opened portals. I've already done things in front of people that should have been enough, but instead of that being enough, they chose, like I said, to argue. They chose all of a sudden they want to control me, and all of a sudden they want to know how I did it. They want to be able to do it. And I'm like, I cannot help you with that. You have to be responsible. People must take responsibility for their own actions. They must take responsibility for their own choices. And that isn't something, that's not a burden I choose to carry for myself, because I can't. That isn't in my heart to be responsible for other people's decisions. They're responsible for their decisions. And I've been very close. Okay, honey. Okay, honey. Okay. Um, at the end of the day, the only thing I can do is give people the information. I cannot force people to make conclusions and decisions. I don't have the time, and it's not my job. Within every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God. Why do I need to sit around and try to explain to them what God is? That already happened. And in America, a lot of the institutionalized, organized religion is the reason that women are still plugged into that ideology, those ideologies that, God only loves us if we act and perform certain roles. That's not true. That is not true. That's not true. That's not the truth. The true living creator is between me and the creator. There isn't anybody that comes between that. There isn't anything that stands between that. There's no laws. There's no church. There's none of that. That's all fake. All of it is fake. And I have literally had to deconstruct programming that was forced into me as a child on how women are supposed to behave, how women don't have a voice in the church, how women this, women that, women are to blame for the fall of man. It's in the beginning of the institutionalized ideologies that women are somehow to blame for every single problem the world is having. The story of Adam and Eve, man. This is indoctrinated programming. And the only way that people are going to be able to think critically for themselves is to recognize that they were programmed. And what I've noticed in the United States is that some places, all the beliefs, the beliefs are all over the place, because in the upper states, the women have already risen out of those ideas that they have to be married and they have to do this, and a lot of women all over the United States are like, no, I don't. That's some BS. And more power to them. I'm really grateful to see women be able to stand up and recognize that they have the power within themselves to create their own reality and make their own choices. Because for 250 years now in the United States, that's how long the United States has been a founded corporation. Well, at least that's what we were told. We've been under these programs and these institutionalized beliefs that they're not serving anybody except the people that it was intended to serve. The corruption. I mean, how easy is it to take over a nation when you've taught every little girl in that nation that they have to fear God, they have to be afraid, they have to act and perform and play all these roles, and if they don't, well, they're going to be punished for all eternity. That is all part of the interconnected mass mind control to keep people complicit, to keep people afraid. And I've already ascended out of that, man. I do not have fear in my bones. What I have is pure crystalline plasma light, God source energy. I've already performed miracles, Beatrice, and that still isn't enough. I can't tell you the number of people that I've actually angered. I've actually made them angry by doing the things that I can do on a higher level. That it freaks them out. They just like lose control, and I don't have any control over them, and nor do I want it. Nor do I want it. That is not what life is about. Life is about allowing people to think for themselves, allowing people to make decisions on their own rational, logical mind if they have one left. Because, like Rick was saying, the depopulation agenda is happening. The death rate is way up here. People are dropping off the face of the earth, and there's nothing I can do about it because it was their choices that led them there. And I have to allow the things that they want to experience in this world. I'm not allowed to interfere. I'm not allowed to always intervene and be be the savior. No, you need to save yourself. It's up to you. If you want to go to the higher realms, if you want to experience joy and abundance and true freedom, make the choice. Align with the GPMS. It's simple. It's simple. It is not it it's a no-brainer, really. What is there to think about? Oh my gosh, happiness, joy, abundance, equality, peace of mind, safety, security. Like, I can't convince you that you want that. You either know inside yourself that that's what you want or you don't. I refuse to carry the responsibility and burden of everybody else that needs to make the higher choice. I can't. It's not in me to do that. That it has to equally rest on everyone's shoulders. And me trying to empathize and feel sorry for people that are having these horrible experiences because they're doing it to themselves, it's not in me. It's not in me. I cannot have suicidal empathy when people absolutely have the ability, the power, and the right to choose better. So I just really needed to say that. That felt so good because that's the truth. That's my experience. I'm doing the very work that I get, most people didn't want to do. They didn't want it. They didn't want to be in my shoes. They didn't want to stand shoulder to shoulder with people. They didn't want the unity. They didn't want the oneness. How the heck is that my fault? It's not at all.
Okay, I have another question. If the people choose all the time someone to do something for them, um, then probably those that they understand what it has to be done probably may start first to do something for others. When this few may, if it is a law, to the point, then we can move through, even through this system, creating jobs and attracting them towards the clean jobs. Then from there, inform them about everything that it is correct, because when they come in contact via the job time, so many hours with another thinking, another vision, they may start to change. So what if we may ask the divinity to, because the people are still on somebody that can do something for them, then in this situation, what if we may ask the divinity to be able to be in the capacity to start to do really something for the people, then from there the correct information is coming toward them, then they may have more the possibility to ascend and not just to serve as like outside of the system. It's not about to interfere with the system, but it's basically a place of working that is producing something clean, like organic food or something like. Then from there, the people that will be attracted towards this way, they will enter in contact with beings that are speaking another kind of information and showing them another path. Probably we may increase the people coming on, we may increase the number of the people that may ascend. So can we create also this path if we may ask permission to the divinity? Somebody that it is on the place to have the direct communication as Rick has with the electromagnetic field, that it is called God, all creation, and see an opportunity from there on this space created. So basically running on the same planet on different dimension, and some of us still to be able to surpass through the ID digital, and to be led to perform things that will attract others, because it is in this system, it is everything about money. If it is everything about money, then basically attracting people towards a point where they may get money, but started to be informed that everything that they did inside of the actual system as industry is wrong. So basically created a place from where the people may come, may earn their salary still in the actual system, and from there to receive the correct information. Because we do not have this place today. We have a problem of jobs on the actual system, a problem of money, a problem of jobs. So from there, they will rise up and they will understand that we are above the money and we can do something else. So when we propose a version of this kind of things, or because we need really to do something, because letting all of us
Well, Sister Beatrice, this is all outlined on the Divine GPMS website. So again, we have actually plastered the website with information. And how much do you need to do to explain on every perspective and to answer every question? You would be writing books and books. So we've kept it as simple as possible. And as a matter of fact, there seems like on the website when I reviewed it that, and I take full responsibility for this, that we can limit some of this information because at trying to explain, there's a bit of over explained explanation. Then you get some redundancy, you get some repetition. So and with the human consciousness, there is such a thing as information overload. There's only so much that the consciousness can digest. So, having said this, and actually, instead of explaining things out further, like what you may be asking, we're going to limit it because we put more than enough there now. And this is not the problem. The simple problem with people is that they have to make a choice and they have to know that they are the power. These are the simple things that I just said in a couple sentences. So, really, when we began GPMS, we kept it as simple and right to the point as possible. Then, what occurred to attempt to accommodate all of the different perspectives and questions, we did provision that. But truly, it would only be one that was asking a question. So why make the content so lengthy to appease only one, and they don't even decide to be a part of GPMS? So again, the content is all there with it. Now, leading up to our contribution space website that we'll have out very soon, a lot of this is the members only website to bring the GPMS community forward. And that's all GPMS members. So the contribution space is not limited to one's perhaps financially wanting to assist another when they're doing GPMS things, but it's also the contribution of practitioners, healings, meditation. Sister Maxine will have a meditation thread there. We'll also have other community oriented support things as well. So what we're actually doing is building the community, and it's all existing GPMS members that are going to be a part of that. And currently, Sister Beatrice and Sister Agnes, you are, to my knowledge, working on to testing it, that we almost have it ready. And what I need to say is that also all of the country groups will be provisioned in there, And we will be taking, to my knowledge, most of these off of Telegram for many reasons. A lot have left Telegram and there's not much activity. So we bring everyone together in our one space and allow that to grow with what can be offered in community. Even let's say someone might have some organic farm jobs that they want someone to assist with temporarily. So these things can be put on there. The advertisement of good organic or organic help as an example. I'm not limiting this. We're evolving things as we go forward. But again, our intent is always to keep it in the utmost quality for all of our members in whatever way we can assist each other as the one big community and family as we take this home uh, to Earth again. And the overall ascension is decided by what each one chooses. But what I say, it's not that simple by their choice, because if it was, we would have already been ascended. So they're being forced to make the choice. That's why the mission is still here on Earth. That's why so many are here that done all their inner work. They're saying, why am I still here? Why am I still seeing and experiencing these things? These things on the outside is not a reflection of me. I've done my inner work and I know that it's wrong for society to be killing women and children. So if I was the sole creator of my reality and I've done all of my purification and my inner work, why are these things still happening on the outside? And it's because there is a mission here. And the mission is to bring all of the light workers together and to bring them together with divine GPMS and with big enough numbers because of the creational energetic effects, it also can cause a flashpoint. We've already had in Thailand, when we began this, a paradigm shift that occurred within the consciousness when ones began to work together and come together as a community there in Thailand. But what occurred? It got divided and separated and it come under dark attack because these unities of everyone working together is the biggest threat to the darkness. And that's why it comes under attack. But people need to persevere and remain strong and steadfast in knowing why you're here, and then also knowing that there's this divine mission. So we have our contributor space. Also, sister, you have I haven't had the opportunity yet. I've been so busy. You have the Divine GPMS radio link. I believe we can begin to share to the public so they can listen if they're driving along in their vehicle. And we have some amazing productions of songs that are done by Sister Maxine for GPMS. They are songs about it and songs of truth, and also you, Sister Beatrice, with our opening introduction. Amazing job what you did, and Sister Max at combining that together and making all of those slides. I need to say, when we start our Sunday meetings every week, I listen to the song and I love it and I feel it. And that's how special and important it is to humanity. So even though it might not look like it's having an effect, it is. It's catching hearts and they will make decisions. So we keep putting these songs out is what I suggest in, the radio link as well. I'll take this opportunity just to go to the Philippines for a little bit, and Sister Lodi is here inputting more names from the Philippines, and more names have come in. And this, what I'm about to say, is that the brothers and sisters in the Philippines are actually ahead of any other country yet worldwide with Divine GPMS. And one of the reasons they are ahead is that there is more than one, and perhaps Sister Lodi can let us know with an approximate number of missionaries that are going out there gathering consents. To my knowledge, no other country in GPMS is doing this. But look how it has advanced the Philippines forward in such huge numbers. And this is what we need. We need missionaries, volunteers to go out and collect the consents. So I'd like to know approximately, Sister Lodi, how many missionaries do we have there? And in the past, before you answer that question, in Thailand and in India and in Uganda at least, and Nigeria, in the past, we had groups or individuals that were collecting consents. To my knowledge, no longer are they doing that. But the Philippines is consistent. And with this, what I'm going to say as well, I am instantly prepared to come to the Philippines if I need to assist with the implementation of GPMS. So once we reach that number, but also with the Philippines, because of the extensive numbers and more volunteers, it's quite possible that the Philippines will reach the implementation stage of GPMS.world before any other nation. So, having said this, then what you'll see is the other nations will have to play a catch up because they'll need the consents of the majority before GPMS can be implemented in their country or their nation. And again, what GPMS does, for example, to the Philippine peso, the peso value will stay the same worldwide during the transition. But what occurs is that the amount of the pesos for every individual will become many magnitudes. And what it gives to the Philippines Administrative Committee, let's say in the Philippines, it gives them unlimited buying power, which in actuality, within economics, the Philippines could buy every country in the world, could buy every government. So, this is how divinity has flipped the tables on the darkness, because this is what the darkness was doing. The darkness was controlling the money and controlling every nation worldwide. This was the deception to cause suffering, deprivation, all of these satanic and even dark, insidious things, and to cause war, poverty, and what have you, by them controlling the money, controlling the creation of it. That was the deception. Because when they create money, it's actually created out of thin air. So, what GPMS does is put this full power and responsibility into the hands of the people worldwide that eradicates poverty and all of this unnecessary lack and suffering. But Sister Lodi, approximately, if you will, how many volunteers do you think we have in uh, missionaries in Philippines now? Thank you.
Hi everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. Yes, since the time that I voluntarily do the registration, assisting those who are submitting the names to be encoded on the website. I think I have already encountered or have been connected with almost 1,000 of them. Saying this, um, because as I have previously said, most of those brothers and sisters have already been collecting names. They are already connected on the grassroots. Uh, so when GPMS comes to our knowledge, it's so easy to redirect those master lists that they have for GPMS. Currently, right now, for this past few months, I think I have 10 to 15 brothers and sisters who are currently active. Active meaning they are still doing the legwork, especially in places like Palawan. There are 5 to 10 brothers and sisters who are right now doing the legwork of collecting the names. In fact, I was asked to visit Palawan again because a certain municipal mayor in Nara, the province of Palawan, has two siblings. I think one is a brother and the other one is a cousin of this particular municipal mayor who are already sending me names for GPMS. And when he got some information about GPMS, he said that he wanted to talk with me personally and discuss what this is all about. So I am looking forward to visit them again maybe this month. I just have to get hold of some fundings to go there. So I I would like to share that with the current situation of most Filipinos, sim a simple promise of receiving a certain amount is very welcome. So it is not a hard task or effort to explain GPMS in details and the principles, the concepts. We don't need to explain everything about GPMS. They just have to see the peso sign, the abundance, the promise of even a little bit of sum of money because of the situations of most. That is more than enough for them to agree that we are that humanity is about to experience a life of abundance, and they readily and easily consent. So that's why the very reason why it is so amazingly that the Philippines is leading this global referendum. And I really hope that we are very near to accomplishing and completing the required names number that we can implement it and start it. Yes, start it here in the Philippines. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lodi and Agnes. So I know that you are the one that you really would like probably to go in another planet. and you support the project of Ascension on this way. And but what it is happening in Germany, and how the people there may see GPMS, and what push you so hard towards another planet at this time.
Everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm outside, and um, so I feel like we had spoken so much today, and very powerful just today about GPMS. So I'm enjoying it a lot, what I've heard today, and it's every week the same, but always something new which someone adds. And I was sharing the cards and have some small conversations. And yes, what I can say when I ask people, so when I get to conversations with them, I ask them, what would you like to change? Yeah. And I spoke with two young men, and one he would make free education. Another one said he is a young man, and he's thinking about what he gets when he is older, and I mean retirement pension. So everyone doesn't matter how old he is living in fear for something which can come and not come. And I also feel that this my focus also to change this to show the abundance and letting go of this old negative parts of the system. I don't want to speak about it. What here is, because is when I look yesterday and was reading about the heat here in Germany, and I'm not really sure if it's comedy, if it's true, because it's so unbelievable what they wrote. And about the people which dying now, and the health system is collapsing. So there are so many things every day, and what I see, and but what gives me power is to share it. So like last days, and I have the possibility, and we have beautiful weather on the other side, and when the people when you come to the conversation, the people ask about it, and I would be very happy when more people will share it. Doesn't matter online or just sharing the cards. And also, doesn't matter how old the people are, there could be young people with sharing it. So it would be wonderful when also more young people know about it. And because they are more open, more free for this, and more curious. So this was also my experience in last days. And yeah, so it was wonderful to hear it today from all of you, and thank you very much for letting me speak.
Yeah, thank you so much, Agnes. I was looking also on the Facebook where we streamlined the video, and there are no questions at this time. Yeah, so there are no questions for our meeting today. Yes, Rick?
Yes, thank you, Sister Agnes and Sister Lodi. And, despite all of the hardships, as you're seeing worldwide, we can say in Germany, I don't believe I see any consents coming in from there. Uh, and, uh, but in the Philippines, we do so again the last few days. But in the Philippines, it doesn't seem like it's singular consents or singular consents in Germany yet. Um, so the point, the point I was going to make here and add, I just got to re-grab it, if you will, is that again, you're seeding, ones are taking notice of it and looking at an option. But what Sister Lodi said, is so important in the Philippines that the Philippine brothers and sisters, they recognize the amount of money and they know what that can do for their life. And it's not only in the Philippines, it's worldwide. I didn't check the numbers recently, but worldwide, I believe it's 90% approximate of the people that are in financial insecurity. And this is a huge number. And this is also why we already have the majority worldwide, and they just need to choose it. And basically, what financial insecurity is people living from one paycheck to another, and they may have a few $1,000s in the bank. But if there was some sort of accident or mishap, let's say with their house, their vehicle, or something, they might not even have the money to pay for it. Now, it gets in the US, it becomes more an eye opener because in the US, with their healthcare system, if any becomes sick in there, very quickly they can be wiped of all of their assets. Let's say they have a home, a car, and $1 million in the bank. They may think that they're in financial security, but in the blink of an eye, if a family member becomes very sick, the healthcare system would take all of that. And I put up a paper the other week or a few weeks ago, or a post about, all of the bankruptcies, over 600,000, I think, just last year, but don't quote me on this. One's losing everything because of just becoming sick, which is absolutely insane and preposterous and primitive by any means, and even savage. But getting back to the point, like what GPMS is offering because it knows it can do it, is an initial payment of 30,000 US dollars equivalent at least, and then 10 or 20,000 every month afterwards. But this money comes from the individual. It's distributed through the creation of money and given straight to the individual. This is so important because this system eradicates financial insecurity worldwide. No one needs to worry about where their next dollar is coming from. They do not need to worry about an internet or their bank account being shut down by a government because the governments no longer control and own the internet. It is owned by the people. So all of your financial security is fully preserved, recognized, and taken forward with unlimited access, which I need to say unlimited, because in reality, your financial security is unlimited because you are the value. And where you are the value, it's only common sense that if you need something, that you can create and generate the money instantly to buy whatever you may need. But with GPMS, it's being done worldwide because of equality to give everyone at once this huge benefit of never worrying about money again. So even though in the Philippines they recognize what this does for them and their life and for their children and their families, it's the same worldwide. It should be seen as the same thing. It is the deliverance of humanity out of enslavement. And again, just I'll touch on it. If people don't think they're enslaved, and let's say, even I'll use the US for example, in Austria, if you go to renounce your citizenship, what you'll find is that you have to have a permission from the government. And if you have to ask that permission, it means that government thinks that it owns you, that you are unable to make your own choices. And this is the core of the actual world, what it is. It's the governments and those that are few that are in power think they own you. They also own your choices. They think you're unable to decide for yourself. They don't think that. What they do is they intentionally impose this upon you, and what they use is some of their irrational reasoning. They don't want to see you stateless. In other words, they don't want to see you sovereign, not belonging to any nation that can control you. So again, bless you, Sister Agnes. And with this, this is where the GPMS also gives them the instruments that they can provision themselves out of this slavery and into the universal world where true sovereignty is recognized. It recognizes the individual's choice. So in this, everyone saves their self by making the choice. But the more quicker that the more makes this, then the more that are saved worldwide. As we said, with each passing day, when one's procrastinate or ignore, another 30, 40,000 children die worldwide of hunger, which could have been saved, and perhaps another 1,000 or more die in wars where in actuality there's nothing to fight for. We could save all of them, but it takes the majority of the people to do this. So the majority of the people need to make a choice. What do you support? This current system, or do you support Divine-gpms, the system that upholds all life and provisions everyone to thrive? So again, it's an easy decision for anyone to make. So, thank you.
Yeah, so we have Aziz with us from India. Hi, Aziz. I do not know if you may be able to speak. I know the language barrier, maybe you have a message for us, even that will be let on Indian language. So, Aziz.
Namaste.
Yes, so I have the caption on, and please say on Indian language something, then I will be able to translate on on English.
Hello, ma'am. Namaste.
Yes. Yes.
हेलो मैम, मैं तो इंडिया से हूँ। मेरा लैंग्वेज हिंदी है, मदर लैंग्वेज। उसलिए कि मैं मेरे को इंग्लिश इतना नहीं आता ना मैम। मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा सोच समझ।
Please come more on camera, the microphone for the software to recognize the voice.
मैम थोड़ी नॉट बिगली।
How do we even? Okay. Yes, Aziz.
मैम टुडे माय हाउस इज नॉट बिगली currently.
Madam, for today, my house, it's not a big deal. Okay, yes, Aziz, we can hear you.
मैं वो मेरे घर में बिजली नहीं है।
Please come and speak on the microphone because I have software that translate from your Indian language in English, but you need to speak more close on microphone to be heard. Yes, Aziz. What I believe because the software is working, so I believe that we should let a message on translated on Indian message on our Telegram account, India, that we have this software, then the people can come and speak directly on their language because there is a software that translate. A minimum, even that, so for them just to let us minimum messages of what they wish to do if they are not using the software, and probably an indication how the Zoom is working with the software. Yes, Aziz. Do you wish to tell us something? Okay, so no, it's still probably he's not able to understand us. It is a language barrier there. Yes, so I think that Philippines it's working amazing. 1,000 people working for consents. This is something huge. It is a huge number. I would like only to ask about the internet connection in area. How many people in Philippines, Lodi, have internet connection or something like minimum to be able to pay, to afford to pay internet, partial internet or unlimited internet. So what it is the situation in Philippines about the internet?
Ayan. There are areas that the internet signal are okay and functioning well, but in those areas, seldom or not so many are interested at GPMS. So what is happening here? The reason why I'm voluntarily assisting those who have been sending consents is consents are coming from the very grassroots, not from those who have access on the internet. So it's almost those who have no work, who have no resources, who are living in the remote areas, not even have seen the social media, having cell phone, but it is uh not a touch screen, not an Android. It's just for a call or text messaging. So those are the ones who are very active with GPMS, not the ones who are on the working class. No, they are not the ones. It is the people on the grassroots. They are the ones because they are the ones who are suffering. They are the ones who in the survival mode, lacking of resources. They are the ones who live in the mountains, in the remote areas, having no access on what the government choose to give to them. So it's not the ones who have access on the internet that is doing what I am assisting for GPMS. That is what is happening here. And I am very grateful for those brothers and sisters who are taking so much effort bringing GPMS to the mountains and to the remote areas where they know that the people who really need GPMS are living in survival. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank them. Thank you so much for sending your consents to GPMS. Thank you. Wherever you are, whoever you are, you know that I am addressing this thank you message to you. I hope you can watch this video. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lodi. Yes, Rick.
Thank you, Sister Lodi, for that important clarity. Uh, and what I need to say with this, let me lower the hand. You know, this is a prime example of good, compassionate hearts doing the missionary work, going out where the poorest are at, that they can't even afford, let's say, phones and what have you. But when we look in the Philippines, not only is this happening in the Philippines, in Afghanistan, China, India, there are locations like this, even in the US and in the Canada, not more so in the Western world, but it is beginning to happen more often in the Western world. And what I've suggested before, you know, with missionaries, if you're in Canada or the US, take your phone, go out, visit the homeless shelters, gather consents or the soup kitchens and in those areas in the Western world and begin to do this for the people. They'll consent once you let them know. These homeless people And ones at soup kitchens, as Sister Lodi is saying, they don't have internet. They don't know what's going on. They don't know that they have a choice. And also with looking for humanitarians and philanthropists that do, let's say, are financially secure, they could do so much for GPMS by sponsoring missionaries like in the Philippines, in Afghanistan, India, wherever around the world, Indonesia as well. For a few dollars, and again, I live on money that's perhaps below the poverty level myself. I don't need much. All of my belongings I put in a little bag, and I'm fully content and happy with that. But having said this, the point that I'm making is that someone that doesn't have any money, perhaps like even $500 US per month, would provide for a missionary in these poor countries to get a phone, get some data, and to go out and gather consents. It can be done so cheaply. Even if it's $1,000, what is that? That's $12,000 for a philanthropist that maybe has a billion or $1 million. What is that? It's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. But these philanthropists and humanitarians can do so much with their money at assisting eradicating poverty worldwide. This is the biggest humanitarian philanthropic thing that any of those individuals can do. Instead of giving their money to charities, which would always, with this current system, would always continue to be there, that never solves the problem, why not give their money to the ones that is actually solving the problem, which is Divine GPMS, to eradicate poverty forever? Instead of feeding it to charities, to taxes, and donating it, you can do more with your money to change the world and eradicate the need for charity ever on earth. For the first time in human history, this is the opportunity for humanitarians and philanthropists to join in here. Put some of your money here. If you are what you call a real humanitarian, this is what changes the world. So, and getting back with this, I even in Africa, there's many there poor in any poor country, a humanitarian or a philanthropist that is genuine at ending the world's problems, they should definitely be a part of GPMS, and they should be sponsoring genuine missionaries with a modest sponsor to keep them going, to do the good thing, to do the right thing, to do the good fight by not fighting, by collecting the majority consent that eliminates and eradicates poverty and suffering forever. That is the good fight. That is the best thing in the world any humanitarian or philanthropist can do at this time to eradicate the core problem, which is the capitalistic system. And by outvoting that capitalistic system, you also outvote poverty and extreme suffering worldwide. So again, it's a logical no-brainer um, solution, even for a philanthropist or a humanitarian that are genuine in their intent to actually assist humanity instead of constantly adding money to the problem, add money to the solution that eradicates the problem. That is where the most common sense comes into play. So And with our contributor space, one thing that we're doing, we changed it slightly, but what we're doing is, let's say, genuine vetted ones that want to be missionaries. They will be able to announce their space to whatever degree in the contributor space, and it'll be there for all to view. And a sponsor, if you will, if they wish, can view it and they will contact the individual directly. And if the sponsor wishes to sponsor a missionary, that is done between the two. And this way, GPMS is not a middleman for any money, and it's not about money. It's about genuinely supporting GPMS in this mission to genuinely and humanely eradicate poverty forever and to free humanity out of this illusionary, deceptive enslavement control. So, yeah, so thank you for that.
Yeah, so we are already on 2 hours meeting. I do not know when the time passed. It seems that the day is very short too. Um, so if someone wants to add something for today.
Oh, I want to add something quickly. It's so good to see you finally smile in this. I know everyone is up against challenges, but it was so good to see your beautiful smile, Sister Beatrice. Thank you.
Yeah, I am happy that the rapture events it's not on plan finally to happen, and we need to join forces to move here on Earth and to do something for everyone here. Um, so I do not believe that probably for sure the people will realize if so many of us may miss in one day from this earth that something happened, but probably they will still do not realize exactly what may happen, and the suffering will be for the families and for the children and will be too much. They do not deserve that. And in general, I truly believe that humanity does not deserve ID digital and nothing like that. It is just because the darkness acted, was able to act in such a way to close our strange of the DNA and to let us in a third dimension that we experience for thousands of years on Earth. Then the people remember what the mother did, what the parents, what the grandparents, and they probably cannot remember what it has to be done. So I think uh, from my perspective and my knowledge of the universal laws, that here on earth should be allowed much more intervention from the light for something to support those on their ascension um, in many ways, because the darkness intervention was extremely high, and it is not exactly the choice of the people. It is because of the people they were led with with only two strands of the DNA active, and from there, their understanding of life and the system and everything was not so high. So we should not judge those on during the time that they are ill. So we should help them to be healthy. Then we will see improvement and other choices coming as a higher choice. Yes, Rick.
Thank you. My views, if a rapture would have occurred, is I'm just checking with the Islamic faith, but worldwide, if a rapture would have occurred, there is already perhaps 2.5 billion Christians that somehow, during their course of life, have come into the possibility of a rapture. So, having said this, not only within uh, Christian, the Christian faith, uh, Islamic eschatology does describe a minor sign of the end times involving a pleasant wind that will cause the peaceful death of all believers, leaving only the wicked on earth. This event is distinct from the rapture. However, it is still very similar. Now, when you look at this, and this is very important because when you combine the Christian and Islamic faith worldwide, I believe you have almost 5 billion. So you can imagine that if a rapture effect occurred, that these 5 billion very quickly are going to make choices. It might not be 2 years of suffering, it could only be 2 days on earth after a rapture that these ones see and know that it's truth because of profound instant vanishing of their family members that, let's say, believed and trusted. These ones are going to trust more and they're going to know what they need to do because it's already been seeded and provisioned in their Bibles, in the Quran, and all of these prophetic scriptures that this time would come. So it may be a misconception at thinking that a rapture event would cause a lengthy turmoil for ones. I only use 2 years as an example if it took that long. But when you look at the amount of numbers, actually, a rapture event could have triggered a mass ascension in a matter of days. It doesn't matter if the governments in darkness tried to say that the disappearance of ones was by aliens, because you have the majority believing in God and already know that they had read that a possible rapture was coming. So these ones would not believe governments about an alien invasion. The worldwide trust in governments now is about 5%, and perhaps even less. They're going to believe in their faith before they believe in governments. Governments have lost all trust. So once they believe in their faith and know that their faith was real, then they're going to do everything as soon as possible to ensure that they ascend. Now, during a rapture event, also remember there is much information, and that's another reason why it's been seeded out there in the last couple months to prepare ones. So let's say if one's come into contact with a possible rapture event, but ignored it, and then it occurred, it brings them quickly back. So it's already being provisioned in the timeline for such an event, if necessary, and at the discretion of God the Father, prime creator, which is also Allah. It's all the same. It is the supreme being. And it's been provisioned throughout all faith. So again, I just wish to say it's important without knowing the full facts of what could occur with a rapture, it's important to consider the effects because the actual truth is on Earth, it's about 75% of the Earth's population believes in God. So what are they going to choose when one's vanished? They're not going to choose that it was aliens. They're going to choose it was God, because they will know the ones that vanished were believers in God, that they were good people. And humanity's not stupid to be able to figure out what occurred very quickly. And then you have it already provisioned. Then they can tell the ones, hey, look, it's already been put out. One spoke about a possible rapture. And here 3 or perhaps 5 million vanish, or perhaps 20 million vanish. Then they're going to say, here's what happened. Come on. We've got to change this reality now. God is real. God says, stand up for the women and children. God says, stand in righteousness. God says, judge righteously. And what that means is to not allow the darkness to control ones. So it's all provision, and it's important to be in the now moment and just consider the possibilities without creating things that we don't know that are not there yet, because it could be entirely different. And also, sister, a rapture could involve more than 3 million. I use 3 million as a base number because there are that many descendants of Jesus and Mary Magdalene on earth. That is the ancestry, which means they have the crystalline component in their blood. They have the ability to ascend right out of here at any moment, but they're kept upon earth because there's an important divine mission. But this does not exclude beautiful human souls that, even though they're not part of the Christ lineage, but they believe in God and they are morally very good people, it does not exclude them going as well in a rapture wave. It could also be like that. It could be a complete rapture where all of the human souls go forward. But in either way, we're accelerating this ascension towards a rapture, a flash point. And a rapture is a sudden upliftment. And what is occurring with the Great Awakening worldwide is the sudden upliftment and consciousness and their perspective at able to see the real darkness, how the governments are dark with all of their laws, their capitalistic systems, and how it's actually harming children. But we're now going more into the depths of where the actual darkness is involved in taking children from families. The actual darkness is involved in creating wars that is killing mostly women and children. And this is a genocidal tactic. When you wipe out the women on any planet, there are no children to be born. This is a depopulation agenda incentive as well. So you can put all of the pieces of the puzzles together, and it's no longer a puzzle. You'll have a clear picture. The Great Awakening is not happening randomly, it's by divine design. It's so that people see the truth, so they're able to make the right and moral choices. And that right and moral choice is divine GPMS to change this world now, to eliminate darkness forever just by making the choice of the good world where darkness itself cannot exist in. So then the darkness, even at this point, is the victim of their own demise, their own self judgment that they have shown humanity, their bulliness, the arrogance, even the sinister, insidious deeds at attacking nations, at killing so many innocent children. It's all revealed, as I said earlier in the show, in our meeting. As I said earlier, it's blatant now. So everything is provisioned when you consider a lot more of the points. And really, I would have preferred a rapture where I stay here while maybe 20 million go, because then we could have ascended the rest of humanity very quickly. I don't need to be a rapture. I don't need to be raptured. I'm an ascended master. That means I'm already ascended. I'm just down in this lower reality assisting with this planetary ascension. And by one's creating fears about things, they complicate it. So have trust in God and support the good things worldwide. Don't support the capitalistic system. It's dark, it is the beast system, it is fear. Support the divine system and stay in alignment with what is true and right. And we get this. So that's what's occurring. So we're all still here. Let's get the job done, if you will, and get this over with for everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, so probably we are on almost 2 hours and a half. If someone else wants to add, has a message for today meeting. Yeah, Agnes, would you like to speak again? No. Okay, Aziz. Then in this situation, I would say thank you so much for everyone that participated on this meeting, and also for everyone that is listening the video. And I truly believe that the most important before sharing the video, it is to spread yourself, to practice, to start, to become GPMS guardian, to become GPMS representative, to spread the word of GPMS. And I hope that much more people will come forward on this way, as our sister Lodi described already. There are 1,000 in Philippines. This is just amazing. And we hope for more other people to come to join GPMS. And I will say again, as I said also in the past, the military, because the military believe that the way it is the military way, I would say the military, they are we, the people. So they are part of the 99%. Everything that we need to join all of us in order to bring forward the humanity in the correct direction via implementation of universal laws. Thank you so much for everyone.
Well, there was a couple things I was going to say, but what I'll say is love, light, and gratitude, everyone, and trust and believe in God and good things rather than any darkness or anything that is harming one's. GPMS is do no harm. And if you are in the military or the police, I suggest for you to step away from that aggression and harming innocent women and children. Remember, you are the one that is behind the jet fighter or the buttons that are being pressed with the bombs that are killing innocent women and children. And if you have any moral conscience at all, you will step away from that immediately. And also, what I say with GPMS guardians, to my knowledge, there's about 23 guardians, perhaps 26, and they are personally vetted by I. We have many, everyone that is a member of GPMS is a representative. of GPMS. However, the guardians need to be vetted, and it needs to be on record what they agree to when they're vetted. So, having said that, no others are recognized as guardians unless they are at this time vetted by I. And there's very good substantiating reasoning why it had to be this way because of past things when GPMS itself come under attack by old existing guardians, and it become obvious of the intent. So I make this clear that we are not tolerating anything that is not of goodness. And both on our website and our contributors pool, it is stated simply, we are goodness and equality, but it's not equality when someone is bad. This is not what we're about. When someone causes harm, it's not what we're about. We are equal in goodness and equality, not anything that is trying to cause conflict, separation, and what have you. So, with that, love, light, and gratitude, everyone. And I'll end the Facebook feed, and this can be seen by anyone later if you missed some of it. So, thank you all for joining.
Yeah. Thank you so much.